Hey, what's up, everyone? We're live with episode 4 now. We got
Good evening.
got some little fire from Treehouse this time, and that's why I got the campfire background because I figure it's fitting. It's summer.
I'm looking forward to trying this one.
Yeah, this one I'm pretty excited for. There was an oak aged one too, which would have been fun. So, it's always
Well,
nice.
next time you're on beer wench duty, you're on beer wench duty this week. It's my turn next. Maybe I'll pick it up next week.
Yeah, I mean, it's similar to this one. It's just kind of like aged in oak barrels, which gives it more of a smoky taste
Yep.
if you like that. Just something a little bit different. So, last week we went with a nice summer one. So this week we went with a little bit the smoky variety. It's a lager, pretty solid, only 5.2, pretty easy to drink, I assume. So
That's very subtle. I like it.
haven't cracked mine out open yet. But anything new with you this week, Shannon?
Actually, it's been kind of quiet on the music front. I was just telling Thor that Tim Skold has a new single out from his solo project. It's called All Humans Must Be Destroyed, which kind of goes into what we're going to talk about tonight with the release of Megan 2.0. So we're going to be taking a deep dive into that in a few. But
And another horrible 90s movie I forced her to watch.
Oh, yes, Evolver. Yeah, that was...
I did mention it last week in the podcast. It was only fitting.
No, it was actually very campy and good fun. So.
Yeah, it's, like I said, it's kind of like the idea of, well, we'll get into it, of Megan, but more of a slasher kind of feel to it.
Definitely. It was trying to go there.
Yeah.
I think it kind of tried and failed a little bit, but...
Oh, yeah, 100%. And then they had sequel bait at the end of it, which is...
Oh, yeah, the sequel bait.
Always got to throw that in there.
It was cute.
Evolver can't lose.
But yeah, getting back to music real quick. If anybody listening doesn't know who Tim Skold is, he was the guitarist for Marilyn Manson for several years, and he was a key player in the industrial band Cam FDM in the mid-'90s. So yeah, go check out his new single.
And speaking of music, the beginning song was Mega Man 2 Wily Stage. Everyone knows that song. The Nerd does a great joke about it in the Mega Man episode, but it's a great song. I actually have all of the original Mega Man and Mega Man X series on vinyl. One of my favorite pieces of my collection. They're in a huge box, so it's really cool. Hard to find now, but glad I have it, and definitely going to get some plays in the Barcade once that's up and running finally.
You're getting there.
Slowly but surely. Let's see.
So what have you got up for us first?
Well, this is the thing you sent me.
Oh, yes. This is something I found out. This is going to be interesting. I don't know how to feel about this.
Yeah, there's a Star Wars horror project in the works at Disney, says Ander, showrunner, which is interesting because...
well, Disney's usually anti-horror.
Yeah, because we're both fans of Ice Nine Kills, and
I was going to go into that, yeah.
Ice Nine Kills got kicked off of playing on a... they're playing a show at a venue that was on Disney property, and they kicked them off. So now Ice Nine Kills does all this like yearly they do like Disney themed merch because you're not breaking copyright if it's 20% different. I'm a big fan of. I have a Nightmare Mouse shirt. It's a Freddy Krueger version of Mickey Mouse. It's awesome.
Love the slight jab.
I hear if you wear it to Disney, they make you take it off and like give you like a Disney shirt to wear instead. I don't know if that's true, but if I ever make my way to
we'll have to try and find out if we ever make it down to Disney.
Yeah, if I ever go to Disney, I'm definitely gonna have to give that a shot. So before we jump into the Star Wars horror thing, do you have anything else?
Nope, I'm good. Slow week.
Yeah, definitely a slow week. Death Stranding 2 came out. I haven't got to playing it yet, but I hear it's great. It looks great. I definitely plan to get. I still have to play the first one, so I don't have much to say about that. My gaming backlog is endless. It's unfortunate, but
I can't even keep up with it.
But yeah, so the Star Wars horror project, Disney has a secret Star Wars horror project in the works, which I'm surprised they haven't done this before. I mean, it works well for a lot of different sci-fi. I mean, I love sci-fi horror, but look at Firefly. Firefly, they had the like zombie, oh man, I can't believe I can't remember what they're called. They're like I gotta look it up.
And I can't either. It's been years, but I have so many friends who are rabid fans of Firefly.
Reavers. I thought
yeah.
it was something like that. Yeah, the Reavers. Wow.
I knew it began with an R.
So they might tackle a more sinister Star Wars project. That the idea is one that Disney's already working on. They're doing that. I think they're doing that. Gilroy said of the Star Wars horror project. I think that's in the works. And Andor went a little bit darker, so it only makes sense. It's a natural.
I mean, Star Wars
progression.
has always had pretty dark themes to it. I mean, that first movie, I'm talking episode 4, the original that came out in 79, that was kind of dark. Especially, like, I remember watching that as a kid, and that, that sort of thing didn't really faze me anyways, because my parents just let me watch whatever.
And like I said, with sci-fi horror, I mean, like Aliens, the original Aliens, one of my favorites. Ridley Scott, that's a classic. Also, The Thing's probably my favorite movie ever. So that's sci-fi horror, and I wish that got an actual sequel, but they planned one, but it just never happened. And
I mean, if we want to look at Empire Strikes Back, I mean, when they freeze Han Solo and Carbonite, that's pretty intense as well.
Well, on top of that, the good guys lose. Everything looks really grim at the end.
Yeah, it's really dark. So I think it has a lot of potential to be cool, but it's Disney, so I'm not getting my hopes up with that.
If accurate could mean fans could finally see Star Wars explore the dark side in a way it's never been seen on the screen before. Star Wars Legends definitely dived into that a little bit, but it could materialize as a TV series, movie, or even something else entirely, and there's no word on who exactly is leading the charge creatively. Could be years before we hear more about the Lucasfilm is cooking up. When it comes to a horror Star Wars project, but Gilroy's comments at least suggest someone at Disney is listening. The right creator in the right moment and the right vibe, you can do anything, Gilroy added, reference his time with Andor. His hope is that the show connects and that we can pass along the favor that we are giving from Mandalorian, pass along a good, healthy backwind to someone else who wants to do something else cool. Yeah, I mean, Star Wars definitely needs to, go and
step up their game a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just putting out way too much, and,
It would be nice if it always feels rushed, if they would just take their time with stuff.
Sorry,
and to make a good script and, an overall good plot, then, it might see better success.
Yeah, well, especially some people are saying that Andor is the best thing season 2 is like the best thing Star Wars has done ever. So, that's pretty, people are pretty into it. So have you watched Andor yet?
I haven't. No, I kind of I had to give up on Star Wars for a little bit. I needed a break.
Andor is worth watching.
I've heard it is. I'll have to put that in the queue.
It does start a little bit slow, but it definitely, once it hits its pace,
I heard
really
season
good.
2 is better than season 1.
I really like Rogue One, so this is,
Rogue One was good.
Yeah, so Andor is one of the characters in Rogue One, obviously, so... Let's see, I might have to open this incognito. Paywalls. So, nope. Well, I won't be able to read the article, but we'll talk about it. So there's mysterious signs popping up in Staten Island. It's linked to a local horror film called The Willowbrook Tapes. It's a found footage, which, found footage was overdone for a bit, but if it's done well, it's really good. I mean, the original Paranormal Activity for the time was really good. Blair Witch is legendary.
Blair Witch was awesome. I remember when that came out. Like,
did I ever send you the film theorist did a theory about the Blair Witch, how they don't think the Blair Witch exists, and it was the two guys that were just playing the killer in the woods?
Oh, no, not that one.
Yeah, it's a theory, and they actually have some good evidence for it. It's pretty interesting.
Oh, cool.
I'll have to send that one to you. So, yeah, apparently if you've driven down around Staten Island and spotted a bed sheet scrawled with cryptic messages and satanic-looking symbols, you're not alone. The signs have been popping up across the borough in recent weeks, fueling speculation around the Willowbrook tapes. It's a new independent film. I mean,
it's definitely something we'll have to keep a good watch on. It sounds interesting.
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine walking down or driving down the road and seeing something like that beside the road? That'd be kind of creepy.
Yeah. they did it from Rob Zombie's movie 31. There were like people dressing up as clowns and like coming out of the woods, but they never officially said it was. But
Don't get Courtney going near them then.
yeah, exactly.
Our friend Courtney's scared of clowns.
All right. And we have up The Strangers Chapter 2. So she didn't really like the remake of The Strangers, which didn't need to happen, but they had to do it to continue the story.
They just could have made the characters smarter, that's all.
Yeah, the original Strangers is definitely better. It's actually a pretty good movie, but I think this one can go in a really cool direction. And I think the trailer kind of points at the whole town's in on it, so I think that's kind of a cool concept. But the first one was, kind of, a big movie at the time.
I wanted to like the characters, but they just kept making dumb decisions.
Dennis from It's Always Sunny is in the original.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that. I am interested to see where the second one goes as opposed when it comes to like the townspeople and if it's like a great big cult or what we're going to see with that.
Yeah, they're probably going to go something.
That's where it could get interesting.
You're safe. I promise.
That's comforting. You're safe, I promise. And it's kind of like a Halloween 2 vibe where, she's got to go back to the place where her boyfriend was murdered.
Yeah, that's kind of messed up.
They may seem innocent, but do not be deceived by the masks they wear.
She's definitely got some like trauma, though. That's what every single horror movie does now. It's all trauma.
Yep.
Is Tamara here?
And that's how the first one started, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember the creepy little girl, so I wonder how she's going to play into this next one.
Yeah, I think they filmed all 3 of them, if I remember right. So, it's good that they, did them all in one shot. Next up, we have The Banished. They got some exclusive images from Bloody Disgusting, by the way. It ventures into the woods of eerie Australian folk horror. Observance Director is back with the new horror movie The Banished, and our exclusive new images venture to the woods to unearth nightmare fuel. The Australian folk horror movie will be released in select theaters and VOD on July 18th via Brainstorm Media. After her brother mysteriously goes missing, Grace ventures into the dangerous wilderness to find him. As she uncovers the horrific truth of his disappearance, she is faced with a darkness which threatens to claim her as well. The fresh images from the latest only further reinforce the trailer's creepy atmosphere. Mass strangers in the wilderness is never a good thing. Are there some images? Oh, let's see if we can pull up the trailer.
Yeah, that looks interesting.
There's
Might
another really good Australian horror movie called Wolf Creek. Have you ever seen that?
Oh, yeah, I've seen Wolf Creek. That was a good movie.
Yeah, I think there's like 3 of them, and then they did a TV show.
Yeah, I only watched the first one.
They're all pretty good, but they're pretty messed up.
Well, Australia has some interesting lore to it, too, like just as a country. So it'll be interesting to see like what kind of, monsters are lurking in the woods. If they're human or if there's something else.
Oh, I got it here, but it's got to wait for the ad. I really need to get YouTube Premium or whatever it's called. All right, this should be it.
Okay.
And then eventually we'll get a producer, so I don't have to do this.
David, Dad's died. Where are you?
Indie horror movies are usually a lot of fun. They're usually really good and go places that other movies won't.
Just cause you trouble.
Oh, it's nice to see some new ideas for a change.
Your brother left months ago.
Yeah, well, I mean, because most big companies are only going to go with the safe thing that works.
The safe bet, yeah.
You don't come back.
The money grab.
Nothing's gonna happen to you as long as you're with me. Promise.
Mr. Green?
Okay, that's very Wolf Creek vibes.
Yeah, but I think, like I said, it's a folklore thing, so I imagine it's like a
Yeah,
creature rather than just some
No, they-
psychopath.
Hello? Please, is anyone there? Hello? Can you hear me?
One of my roommates in college was from Australia, and I learned some interesting folklore from her. So,
Oh, I'm sure.
it'll be interesting to see what direction this goes in.
You don't
as
even need
compared to what-
folklore. Just
No.
listen to the animals that live in Australia.
Oh, well, oh my gosh, yeah, everything's huge and everything can kill you.
Nice.
This does look creepy.
It's streaming. I'll definitely check it out. I still haven't watched it. I downloaded it, but I need to watch Where Evil Lurks. I heard that's really good, but I heard it's super
Messed up.
gory and
Yeah.
it's possession and it's
It sounds like it's a little bit much for me.
what's
Like if it's Saw level gore, like that's pretty much like all I can.
That's
I
all
could
right.
barely handle that.
Terrifier 4 will be fun. No, I'm kidding.
You can have fun with that one.
We'll get you to go. It's fine. Have you ever seen Train to Busan?
I've heard about this movie. I have not seen it yet.
I believe it's a Korean movie, if I remember
Yes.
correctly. Let's see.
I was gonna say, I think Mike and Jay were talking about this film not too long ago.
Yeah.
Fellow podcasters.
So anyway, The Last Train to New York is James Wan's remake of it. It's a passion project he wants to do. It's been quite a while since I heard a peep about The Last Train to New York, a remake of the South Korean zombie film Train to Busan from producer James Wan. That's set to be directed by Timo. I'm not even sure. Tajanto, maybe. Oh, okay, but he did May the Devil Take You in VHS 94. VHS 94 is pretty good.
Okay.
He probably did one of the segments, though. Usually it's different directors for each segment. I wonder which one he did. The Last Train to New York has been without a release date for the last couple of years, but producer Wan tells Entertainment Weekly this week that the film remains a passion project. It's still up in the air if it'll happen. So it sounds like it's kind of in development hell right now. He says it's definitely still a passion project. Hope it gets off the ground eventually. Got to be honest with you. I'm not quite sure where it sits right now. That's disappointing. Creatively, it takes place in the same world as Train to Busan. It's happening epidemically around the world. So Train to Busan is this particular slice of the story. In South Korea, we want Train to New York be the one set in America. In Train to Busan, the zombie virus breaks out in South Korea while train passengers struggle to survive. The film was directed by Sang Ho-yeon and spawned a sequel, an animated prequel. It's one of the better zombie movies that have come out in a while.
Nice. That looks like it could be a cool thing if they end up doing it.
Next up is Sarah Michelle Gellar says Buffy reboot would balance new legacy and
I know so many
New and
people who are
legacy
looking
storyline.
forward to this.
yeah, I mean,
So many of my friends are big Buffy fans.
I watched Buffy like 10 years ago after it was cool, but I just, everyone said it's pretty good and I had a good time with it, that's before all the stuff happened with Josh Whedon. Everyone's like, check it out. I mean, like my sister likes Supernatural, so I told her to watch it and she really enjoyed it. I used to run a tabletop game called Monster of the Week, and it's very much like an episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and we kind of ran it like that, and it's a lot of fun. So, I'm not going to go through this whole article. I just want to say you got to kind of balance the two. Like you got to tip your cap to the past, but you also have to move the series forward. So
Create some new ideas and not just rehash the whole series over again.
yeah, I guess the new lead, she's young, but she's supposed to be really good, and it's good that they got Sarah Michelle Gellar to come back as maybe she'll play the professor character or maybe she'll still be because I know they continued Buffy in a comic book, so I don't know where everyone, where they lie and where everything went from there. But
It'd be interesting if they went by the comic book adaptation. I'm not familiar with that either, but I know my friends are, and they can clue me in.
yeah, the comic book is essentially, I think Buffy went 10 seasons or something, or
Yeah.
8 seasons, and I think the comic book was the next season. So I don't think there's anything too big in that, but it's still gonna be pretty cool. So there's a Friday the 13th vignette, not vignette as Mike said or whatever it's called.
It's vignette. That's how you pronounce it. That was driving me nuts the whole entire
I know
time.
when
I'm
I was like, come on, Mike. I was laughing, but I was just like, oh, come on. Jason is back in Sweet Revenge. It's a blood-soaked vignette.
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 Like beignet, but not. Or beignet. Yeah.
I know.
Anyway.
Well, I know how to say it. I knew how to say it, and then Mike, I was sick of the way he was saying
Yep.
it. It's made by the maker of Wrong Turn, and it's pretty much a commercial for Angry Orchard, so who knows what this will be. It's probably going to be stupid in 2
Using
seconds.
Jason as a marketing ploy to sell some hard cider.
They'll
Who
do-
would have thought?
They'll do anything but make a new movie,
Yeah.
ironically. Which is just amazing. And before we talk about Megan, I got a 28 years later theory, which, I think kind of goes without saying. I don't know why someone had to write this, but it's fine. The Bone Temple will presumably show us a whole lot more of what happens when the various factions populating this hellish world collide and conflict. After viewing the first film and picking up on various clues and foreshadowing, there's now a growing theory that the Bone Temple and the proposed third and final film of the trilogy could have a massive twist. The 28 Days Later franchise has always made markedly different than virtually every other zombie horror story in the source of the virus. One that the series never explicitly states is capable of resurrecting the dead. So it's always a debate among horror purists whether 28 Days Later and sequels actually qualify as a zombie horror, which is fair. So yeah, the idea is pretty much that the infected do keep some of their human identity. Pretty much, they think the alphas and the infected are starting to their idea is that the alphas and the infected are starting to become civilized, which I think they hinted
They're
towards that.
starting to evolve a little bit. It'll be interesting to see how they develop that plot point.
So there's two things with this. I think they showed that in the movie because they were when they were in the water, it looked like they're bathing. I don't know if you remember when they
Yep.
passed the infected, so it looked
Yep.
like they were bathing or whatever. So I think that's kind of a given, and they just got smarter and more civilized. And the alpha definitely wanted the baby back, so I think that's definitely a part of it. But I also think that.
Well, I wonder if they're going to tie it back into the second film of, what was it, 28 weeks later, where people can be carriers but not show any symptoms. I wonder if they're going to expand on that, and that's going to be a part of
Yeah, I think they
this
kind of.
whole evolution of
I
the
think they
virus
kinda-
and how it mutates.
I think they kind of did away with it. I don't think it'll be like the asymptomatic people like that.
No.
I think the infected are, adapting, but I also think the Power Rangers at the end might be infected.
Oh, yeah. I was wondering about that. Because
I think that's going to be the.
the Jimmies. Yeah, the Jimmy cult. We could go on and on talking about the Jimmy cult.
The Power
too.
Rangers, the Jimmy Rangers.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, so it's an interesting idea. I don't like that the new movie is going to be about that cult, though. I think that's going to be.
I wish they didn't make them so silly at the end. I mean, you could have the crazy ass jumpsuits and them being just a little whacked in the head without. I don't know. There was something about that was just. I don't know. It didn't feel like it. It felt out of place.
Yeah, it's very off-putting.
But I mean, maybe they meant it to be off-putting. Who knows? But yeah, definitely I think that they're going to be the real evil ones, even more so than the infected.
But yeah, so I think that'll jump us into Megan. We're going to talk about the first two movies, and as a bonus, we're going to talk about a horrible 90s movie called Evolver.
Hang on to your vaginas, kids.
For the fun of it. So I didn't watch the original Megan because I was like, this movie is going to be dumb, but it is actually surprisingly better than I thought it would be. I'm not saying it's amazing, but
It was a fun movie. I watched it with my drunk hippie friends from upstate, and we had a great time watching it. It was just one of those like mindless, didn't need to pay too close attention, but it was still fun, and there were some fun kills there.
Thursday, I had myself a Megan marathon. I watched Megan during the day and then went and saw the sequel. So it was a lot of Megan, and the second movie is way different. But the first one is a classic story of, well, I guess we'll just go over it a little bit. Yeah. So there's this little girl, her parents die in a car accident. She's got to go live with her aunt, who is her guardian, but wants to be, but isn't like prepared to take care of kids at all. And, you know, it has some humor in it. Like you walk into her house and her little robot like talks about how she's got a bunch of like Tinder notifications. So, you know, she's like a single and she's barely put her life together, and she's got this job where she doesn't have time for much. She builds these kids' toys, which are like these AI Furbies, and she wants to build a better version. And she builds like a little girl robot, and the little girl robot is smart, learns, and becomes a good friend for the kid, but also kind of becomes the parent because it like constantly teaches them and corrects them. And, you know, she didn't have to mom her niece because Megan was doing it, and Megan grows and adapts. And of course, not everything's perfect. And Megan
takes on a life of her own,
protects her at all costs. Yep. And, you know, changes
that to a whole new level,
changes her directives, and, you know, bends them and learns. And of course, eventually ends up killing people. The first couple of people are kind of by accident. She definitely caused it to happen, but she definitely, you know, she was the cause, but like the one kid tripped, but then she progressively gets more evil and can, you know, do things on her own. For a little bit, they kind of make you think they're going to not have it be like a Child's Play thing where they kind of blame the little girl, but they quickly show that it's Megan, and she figures out that Megan's doing all of it because like the neighbor's dog disappears and the neighbor disappears. And Megan's pretty sassy and has a bunch of like one-liners, but then she becomes a killing machine. And before I jump into what happens at the end, do you have anything you want to add in?
Oh no, you pretty much covered that. Like just her sass, and the sass carries over into the second movie too. I kind of wish they leaned more into her sarcasm a little bit more, because she is actually a really good character. I think anyway.
Yeah, it's entertaining how they did it. I know a younger girl played Megan, but she's voiced by some other woman. So, you know, I think it's really cool though. You know, they made Megan seem like she is a robot, but it is a human actor. So, yeah. You know, I'm sure there's a little bit of CG in there, and she's probably wearing
definitely
like a mask.
CG.
So, yeah. But, you know, I thought she looked robotic enough, but like close enough to being human, you know. Mm-hmm. So she looked kind of like a doll, but a murder doll, I guess. But they did some good things at the end, like when they have this other robot that rips her in half, and they did it like straight out of Terminator, where it crawls and tries to choke Sarah Connor. It tries to, I think the aunt's name was Gemma.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. I'm terrible at remembering names. So that was a great homage to Terminator, and like how her face like starts melting away and showing that she's a robot underneath. And the kid got attached to Megan, so she was kind of, you know, didn't want them to hurt or take Megan away. So they definitely follow that up, and they end up destroying Megan. And the first movie kind of ends there. And then the second movie picks up, and turns out Megan's been around. She just infected other things like a virus, but they need her because the feds have another robot from the stolen plans for the original Megan that is going to be used as a weapon, which that's what made me think of Evolver.
Yes. How, yeah, I definitely see where the similarities with that. Yeah, the second one, Red, is more of like, an homage to Terminator or Evolver than really horror. There wasn't much
Yeah,
horror in this
it had
second
some
one.
gory parts, but it was more of an action.
It was more of an action kind of comedy thriller type than anything else. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, cyber thriller. I mean, they're kind of going for that vibe again, that, homage to Evolver. It was very much that
Oh,
vibe.
I doubt this is based on Evolver at all. I'm just
Oh,
saying.
no. I'm just saying similar themes.
Yeah. I hear you say it, but
The tone was very, very similar to that.
yeah. Well, that's what made me think of it, and that's why I wanted to kind of talk about Evolver.
Well, that Terminator, just like that whole kind of, cyber genre.
So let's start here. The feds come after Gemma because they assumed she created this other android or AI that's killing people, stealing plans, and pretty much creating chaos. And she's this like giant murderer robot. So they blame her. It's not her. And then like she starts getting texts to like kind of help her get out of the situation. Turns out it's Megan. And Megan's like, I had time to think about it. I'm not quite evil anymore, but I was just mad. It was kind of funny, but like they end up having to trust Megan, and Megan's a good guy now, just like in Terminator 2, and Arnold's good rather than being evil. So
Basically, they have to team up robot against robot. Good robot versus bad.
yep. Yeah, and it's a 2-hour movie. It's a little bit long. It's pretty. I think I like the first one better. The second one's not bad. It's just long. I could have shaved off
The
like
second one, excuse me, was good up until the third act. And
Yeah.
then it kind of fell apart again. And then, like, where it should have ended, it kept going a couple times. And yeah, they could have cut that like way back.
Yeah, they could have cut down on some things, and the humor works. You like the characters, so at least there's
It
that.
was a fun
and-
ride.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said,
Fun,
fun
light-
if you have some of these.
Oh, definitely.
It's just one of those. Just have some beers with your friends, throw it on the background, or watch it. It's just a better time if you're drunk.
Or just, going to the movies with a bunch of friends. It's
Yeah, it's one you could definitely throw in the background for like if you
you
have
don't
some
need to
people
pay
over.
too close attention to, but it was still engaging. As I said, it kept me engaged up until the third act, and then I'm just like, okay, how are they gonna wrap this up? Like, I don't know. It just kind of
Yeah,
it fell apart once they got to the facility
yeah, exactly.
where they were trying to destroy the mainframe or whatever.
Hey, Amy. Amy's just saying, hey, love the background art movement. Thank you.
Hey, Amy.
I usually do
Thanks
that
for joining.
campfire for my summer streams. I plan to have more. There's a fire there. Oh, hold up. I think you can see it now. But just got a campfire back there because we're drinking some Little Fire tonight,
Yes.
so it's only appropriate for it's a campfire beer, so we're at a campfire tonight. I have more backgrounds, but I have to set them up. I just haven't had time.
I'm gonna say we could get really funky with the backgrounds if we wanted to, as long as they aren't too distracting.
She said Shannon's shirt. What's your shirt?
Band Bauhaus, the original goth band.
Oh, there you go. Mine's We Watched a Movie, a YouTube channel we actually both watch. So
Well, one of the OG goth bands.
she says she loves your shirt. Got it. That's cool. How you doing, Amy? Thanks for stopping by the way. We're just talking about Megan
Yeah, the new movie.
2.0. And then like they did that long dance scene, which I think went like a little over because they did that in the first one. That didn't.
Yeah.
They need
Yeah,
to
that
do
was-
that again.
Oh yeah. There were some really corny parts, and when Megan starts to sing to Gemma, I'm just like, I thought it was going to be one line, and then she was going to come out with like a sarcastic
Yeah.
line, kind of breaking that like tender moment, but she just kept on going, and it was just awkward.
Exactly. If they shaved those down, it would have probably been a better
Yeah.
movie. But it's a fun ride. Have some beers, watch it with some friends. You definitely should watch the first one though. It's a tonal shift, but I think it's worth watching where the characters have come from. So
I was going to say it was so lighthearted. I even recommended it to my mom and my sister, and they're not big horror fans at all.
Yeah.
I think they would like that franchise.
Though I did watch
It's
the
tame enough
unrated
for them.
version. That did have some gore, surprised.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay. I thought this was PG-13. You know, they sometimes get close. Sometimes you get the movies that you're like, oh, appreciate it, Amy. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, Amy.
But yeah, so what movie did you prefer? I probably like the first one better, but
I'd say probably the first one.
sorry, I gotta fix this.
Okay. Need me to move?
No, you're good.
Okay. No, I'd say the first one, even though the details of the first one are kind of fuzzy to me because I was with my drunk hippie friends and we were having fun while watching the movie, chit-chatting and stuff. But it was one of those like perfect movies to put on in the background and, you know what's going on without having to pay too close attention to it. But yeah, I was going to say it was a little bit more kind of consistent with, I don't know, just the storyline.
Cheers, Amy.
The storyline, and yeah, it didn't drag in the third act. I thought it was pretty much a good time movie. I think that one was only like hour and a half, right?
Yeah.
Hour and a half, hour 45.
Though with that one, they did the thing where like they multiple times they're like, oh, they defeated Megan. She comes back.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that kind of happens with the second one. You think Megan's been defeated, and then she comes back, and it's more of that.
They also do that in Evolver.
Yes, they do. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out, how the Evolver robot could come out of the water and still be able to function somehow. I'm like,
Well, I talked about Megan 1 and 2. Why do you talk about Evolver? You just saw it anyway.
Oh,
so
well, yeah. I
why don't you
just
give a
watched that earlier today.
quick run over the plot of that.
Well, it's basically like a VR, virtual reality come to life. This is a 90s film, so it came out in 95.
Before AI is VR. So.
Yes. So it came out the same year as one of my favorite cult classic movies called Hackers.
I can't believe Evolver's not a cult. I'm kidding.
Well,
No,
didn't quite make it there.
Not quite.
It needed Matthew Lillard, which Hackers had. Got one of my favorite characters in Hackers. But yeah, Evolver is basically this robot that's supposed to be a game simulation that, an interactive gaming robot that kids can play with, and it kind of takes on a mind of its own and starts really killing people.
So this is where I find the similarities, though, is Evolver starts killing people because he learns from
He's
he
learning,
sees
yeah.
he sees violence on TV and he picks that up, and like he's programmed to just win, whereas Megan's programmed to protect what was the little girl's name?
I forgot the little girl's name.
I can't remember her name, but the little girl that she's synced with. So she learns different ways to protect her, and she learns that she's got to be aggressive. Evolver wants to win the game no matter what, so he learns that he has these like little plastic or like Nerf things he shoots for the game, and he learns that he can't really win the game that way, so he starts picking up like metal ball bearings and knives and things like that and using them on people.
Katie's her name. The little girl.
So yeah, well, and the thing about Evolver though is they started off with it's a VR game, but you can win the actual robot by winning this contest. And the main character is playing the game. He gets interrupted by the love interest of it, of course. And he hacks into the system and makes himself the winner. So he wins it. But unfortunately, like I said, this thing's
Gets more than he bargained for.
It's a learning robot, and they try to abuse it because it can film things. So they put it in the girl's dressing room because, of course, they do, because they're teenagers and this is a 90s movie.
They could get away with it in the 90s, yeah.
And they start like, and the friend wants to like use it for like nefarious things, and Evolver just keeps learning, starts killing people, and wants to keep getting better, and it just always wants to play a game. But
the friend tries to take advantage of it, and Evolver's having none of that and crushes a car onto him.
Yeah, and pretty much it just wants to win the game and keeps evolving. And then on the third level, it tries to kill, I think, his little sister, and they end up pushing it into a pool. Turns out that Evolver was made from a military AI program that they abandoned, and they just turned it into a game because that's a good idea. Nothing could go wrong there.
Oh, what could possibly go wrong?
yeah, nothing could go wrong there. And they push him into a pool. Then, just like Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees, as he's being taken away in a van, he kills the driver and flips the car and goes to a power. It's ridiculous. He goes to a power plant to charge up.
I mean, how he doesn't electrocute himself because he's full of water too. But
it's a dumb movie, but it's
not one to read too much into.
No. So he gets supercharged and turns to his fourth form, and then like he
goes after the main character.
Well, no, he goes after the sister and the mom.
Yeah.
He sets up the laser trap where they're trapped in the room.
Yep.
And he's like, you got to play me in the fourth form, which no one can beat. Or they die in 3 minutes because like the charge is going to like the laser's going to rip through them. So he ends up playing the game, but he's wearing like a metal sheet. So his Evolver's weapons don't work. He thinks he kills him, and then he beats up. Then he beats Evolver at the game, and Evolver starts malfunctioning. He beats him with a baseball bat, and then they blast him with the laser because, of course.
Yeah. And then maybe that kills him, or does it?
Yeah, because they show a glowing eye at the end because, so how I'm tying this together is I forgot to mention this in Megan 2. They had that robot from like the 40s that was like a house helper that turned evil.
Yep.
And that's what they wanted to get a hold of, because that AI's essentially become like a god because it's been around so long. It looked like Rob the Robot, which is a great touch, by the way. That made me laugh. Do you know who Rob the Robot is? That Nintendo toy? The killer robot.
I remember that.
So this robot wasn't strong or anything, so it used to like create mustard gas and kill its like inhabitants. Because the reason it did it is it figured rather than serving humans, it'd rather kill them so it wouldn't have any tasks to do. It's kind of Megan 2 just doesn't take itself seriously at all. It's great, but it's kind of like Evolver. So
yeah, it's just a fun kind of mindless watch. If you want something fun to get away from it all, not too serious. Great film to watch. So I don't know. I think it's one of the better ones we've seen this year, honestly.
So rank Megan 1, 2, and Evolver.
Oh God. Probably 1, 2, and Evolver.
I'll probably do the same with that.
I mean, still the first one was better because it was more of a horror film, and this last one really wasn't.
Yeah, this last one, like I said, it was definitely a fun one, but
I also liked the rich millionaire character who they obviously modeled after Elon Musk, like down to the name too. That made me laugh. Yep.
And she was like dating
Except it was Alton instead of Elon, I think.
Yeah, she was like dating him or something. He said something like they had some kind of relationship. That's how she had his number.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
So, she was close to it in there. So, but yeah, I think that's pretty much it for those movies. You got anything else?
Yeah, that was it. It's been a slow music week this week, so got a couple upcoming gigs that I'm preparing for. So I've been busy doing that.
Yeah,
that's going to be fun.
It's a slow news week, and I haven't had a time to play much of the newer games, unfortunately.
What have you got in your queue?
A lot. I'm still playing through Oblivion because I haven't had much time, and let's see. Why isn't this showing up? Still playing through Oblivion. I got to play through both Death Stranding games. I have. This week was the too many games. It's a gaming convention. I'm hoping one day we can get invited there. We need to get at least 25,000 followers, so we're ways off, but
got some work to do.
Yeah, hopefully.
Come on, people, like, share, and subscribe.
Hopefully we can get there because I'd love to go. But it was last night. I was watching RGT 85 was there. He had a drunk stream last night. That was fun. He does it outside the hotel every year. It's a good time.
So where is this located? This convention?
Philadelphia.
Oh, okay, that's not too far away.
A lot of the people I watch are there. Spawn Waves there. The Angry Video Game Nerds there.
Oh, cool.
They had the set there. I almost wanted to just like drive out today, but they had the set there. You take a picture with them, like they did like a cardboard model of the set, so it looks like you're sitting there.
Oh,
on
nice,
the nerd
nice.
chair, which is really cool. I'm a huge nerd fan, so when I don't know what to watch at night, that's old nerd episodes are a go-to. You know, that or SNES Drunk. I'd love to meet SNES Drunk. He's out in the Midwest, so.
Well, the We Watched a Movie guys, I'd like to meet. Like,
They're-
we would have a crazy time with them.
They're in Kentucky. They're not that
Yeah.
far.
Well, I have friends in Kentucky too, so.
I think they're near Lexington, if I remember right.
Okay, yeah, I have friends in Nashville.
Actually, they accidentally doxed themselves when they mailed me the shirt. I got their home,
Yeah.
home address, so but
Well, I think, doesn't his wife mail out everything?
yeah, his wife does it, so she doxed them. It's fine. I'll just put it at the end of here. So no, I'm kidding. No, I'm just October. I think there's gonna be a lot of cool gaming announcements. I think we're gonna finally hear about. There's gonna be a new Friday the 13th game. There's gonna be a new Halloween game. I'm hoping Supermassive's working on a Scream game. I've heard mixed things whether that's happening or not. Would love to see it. The people that did the Quarry and Until Dawn.
Okay. Yeah, we'll also be preparing for Comic-Con and
Comic-Con's in about 5 months. We're planning to do a Final Fantasy VI cosplay, so we got to definitely talk about that.
oh, I gotta get my cosplay for a Silver Scream Con going too.
Oh, what are you doing for that again?
I'm gonna be
Hackers. Right?
yeah, I'm gonna be doing a hackers themed costume. It's not gonna be one of the characters really, but I'm gonna say I'm Kate Libby's redheaded stepchild.
I'm just gonna wear my Stu Live shirt.
Well, my plan is I've got the Kate jacket, eyeing on it. I haven't bought it yet. Got that. I've got everything else pretty much is in my closet that she wears. And the Stu Lives shirt, jacket over the Stu Lives shirt, you know, kind of doing the whole crossover thing between Scream and Hackers.
He was Springtrap in the Five Nights at Freddy movie, so you could get the Golden Freddy costume.
Oh yeah, because that'll be quite something to wear around. I don't think so,
It'd be fun.
but
I'd
it would be
laugh.
fun.
But yeah, I think Final Fantasy VI is going to be cool. Desiree's I just want to do Terra. I'm going to probably do Locke. We'll have to figure out something for you.
Yeah, well, I can gender bend if need be. So, because you said that they're mostly male characters in that one, right?
No, there's a few females. I
Okay.
mean, you got Celeste is a really cool character.
Okay.
And Gender Bend, I was thinking Gender Bend, there's a ninja called Shadow, I think would be cool. Your
Okay.
Female ninja's always cool. And then the main villain, he's kind of like a clown, but he's like a psycho clown. A Gender Bend version of Kafka would be really cool. He's got red hair, so.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? If it's a humid day, I won't need to do anything with my hair because it'll just be
The next one's what? Is it November?
Comic-Con. Yeah.
I think it's November, right? Yeah, I'm pretty
Yep.
sure it's November. We also have to think if we're going to do fandom this year. I don't know. Fandom, we didn't get as much traffic, but... Oh, actually, I don't know if it's happening anymore, right?
Fandom kind of broke off into like separate little events, and I'm not even sure if those are going on anymore.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I think they're probably
least the other
teaming up
two-
with other people now.
At least we have the two Comic Cons, but I do definitely want to, maybe expand to like again, I'd love to do too many games because a lot of the creators I like there.
New York City has a big one going on that I have a lot of friends that go down to, and they say that that's really worth it. They have a great time.
Yeah, because
I don't know when that one is. Let me look it up real quick.
that's like even before I get like enough subscribers, I've been thinking about going to too many games just because going to those things is a good way to get your name out there.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a lot of followers the last Comic-Con we went to.
We did.
All right. Well, it's not telling me when it is right offhand, but I want to say it's coming up.
Yeah, and definitely comment on the videos or email us if you have any recommendations of some shows that are close to upstate New York. I'd love to do more events like that.
There's a couple conventions out in Syracuse that are growing too. They're fairly new, but next time I come across one, I'll have to send it to you. 102 days. It doesn't say when it is, but in 102 days, it's the next New York City Comic-Con. So that's what, 3-4 months away?
Yep. Okay. Yeah, and then like I said, I think the second Saratoga one, I think is November, which we'll of course do. because it's always a good time.
It is a fun time, just as long as I don't get any I don't see any bathroom interactions like I did last time. Again, that was just kind of fucked up.
Yeah, that was an interesting. Well, a lot of interesting things happened at that event, but
Yeah, it was a pretty crazy weekend.
we'll have to save those stories for probably a more drunk, more drunk podcast.
Yeah,
This
well,
one's kind of a chill one.
Not safe for podcasting, really.
Yeah.
I'll just say somebody was doing something gross in the bathroom, and
they may or may not have been furries.
Yeah. Well, at least one of them was. All I saw was like a tail wagging out from under the.
What you,
under the
what you
stall.
hope was a tail.
Yeah, let's hope. Let's hope. Hey, hope they had fun. I don't know. They were either having a damn good time or somebody was getting sick, and I couldn't tell which.
Or both.
Or both.
It happens.
But yeah, that was probably the single most awkward moment of a Comic-Con experience yet. So we'll see if November tops it.
We can make that happen.
Let's not.
the bar we usually go to probably won't be there. I'll talk to the guys and see if it is, but I don't know about what's going on there.
Oh,
but
well, yeah, that's a whole other story.
we could always bring our own.
Angry Monsters versus cosplayers.
Yeah,
You should turn that into an event. WrestleMania, maybe. There we go.
I'd referee it.
I'd provide the music. All right. Got anything else?
I like I said, I want to mention too many games, and there's a lot of Steam summer sales going on. There's a lot of good games going on. So I mean, I'll have more gaming stuff to talk about next week. There just wasn't a lot of news this week, and I didn't have any time to play games, let alone work on stuff for this. So,
Music-wise, the only other thing I've got is this coming Friday is Bandcamp Friday. So go out and support independent artists and buy some of their stuff.
yeah, that'd be awesome. And leave a comment on these videos if you have recommendations for beers for us to check out, or any conventions or movies or any gaming related stuff or news you want us to talk about. Hey, we'll talk about anything, So let's know that. And I guess why don't you just pitch your plug yourself.
Plug myself? All right. Well, I am Shannon. I am the owner of J3 Media. You could find me online at j3-media.net. I am a DJ, and I also offer marketing and business consulting services. On the socials, you'll find me at J3 Media on Facebook, and let's see, Instagram is J3 Media DJ. So hit me up there with a like.
And I'm Thor. I have a tech business called Thor Tech Tips. So if you need anything tech related, check that out. I'll probably do some YouTube content at some point. I haven't got around to it yet, but my main thing is T Media on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram at T Media as well. And I'm also T Media on Facebook. On Twitch, I'm Thor Effect because I couldn't change my name. And I'm also on Kick as T Media. So follow me wherever. This podcast streams to YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and Kick at the same time. I also do some gaming content. I play a lot of asymmetrical horror games. I play a lot of retro on the YouTube. I also do some a show called Retrograde, where I look at old retro games that I loved as a kid. Also check out new ones and just do a little video giving thoughts and kind of run through them. I think the last one I did was a Steinax a couple months ago, or probably a month ago. Working on another one. They take a little bit of time though, trying to get them out more regularly. And I also do some news update videos. If there's like big news, I talk about that. So, anything you want to see, recommend to me. And we'll be back here next week. Hopefully there'll be some more news, or if not, I'll have some gaming stuff. And
thanks for hanging out with us, guys.
yeah, we made it an hour, and that's what we shoot for. So there was that. you know, like I said, super slow week, but we're just going to enjoy some beers. Hopefully you guys enjoyed hanging out. And for you guys, we also have this on podcast platforms. You can find it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere. I have it hosted everywhere. So, you know, download the podcast. If you have time to join in for the show, give it a listen and, you know, support us any way you can. Like, subscribe, share it. We want to grow this. We want to grow a good community. You know, we've had a good amount of people come in and talk, and we love interacting with the people that come through. So,
Yeah,
you know,
feel free to give us a shout.
we want more of it. We want this to be very interactive. You know, we don't have a time limit, so, you know, we'll go all night if we have to. So, you know, we'll be back next week and look forward to seeing you all then. And I'll see you in the next one. Thor out.
All right. See you guys.